Minister of Federal Capital Territory, FCT, TINUBU WIKE, has said that President Bola Tinubu's intervention in River State has made the executive, legislature and judiciary work independently. According to WIKE, and I quote, the executive, legislature and the judiciary are all functioning independently, all thanks to the president. WIKE declared that peace has been restored in the state to the working of the three arms of government. He spoke while addressing journalists on his political tussle with the current governor, Siminalayi Fubara. It will be recalled that a heated political face-off broke out between WIKE and Fubara over the leadership of River State. Joining us now on the morning show as we explore the veracity of the restoration of peace in River State is Opunabo Inko Taria, former special advisor to former governor, Nyesom Wike, now FCT minister. Good morning and welcome to the morning show.
Good morning, Ayo, Rufai and Ruben.
Good morning.
Morning, sir.
Well, your former boss says there's now peace in River State thanks to the intervention by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And I ask, is there peace in River State, considering the fact that only yesterday some thugs were throwing canopies and chairs into the air and behaving riotously in Ahoda West over, the attempt by loyalists of Sim Fubara to celebrate his Supreme Court victory. But, I mean, you are a stakeholder. So is there peace now? Has everything been resolved? The executive and the legislature working together, godson and godfather, in good accord. And you all in River State are now living very happily ever after.
Well, Doc, good morning. The FCT minister was just mouthing pious relevance and sanctimonious triviality. There is no peace in River State. Rufai once described, I think on one of his interviews, talked about peace before the storm, graveyard peace, and there was one other peace. What we have in River State, as we speak right now, is just, so to speak, peace before the storm, in the words of Rufai. Because if you take under advisement the issues, first and foremost, we are talking of the hounding of those that are perceived to be loyal to the governor. For example, the chief of staff. Why did they have to move the case from River State to Federal Capital Territory? I'm talking of the murder of the DPO. All of a sudden, the chief of staff is now being implicated. You ask a simple question. Where was the crime committed? We are not saying you can't transfer the matter to Abuja, no. But where was the crime committed? Are you also saying that the judiciary in River State, he said the judiciary, the executive, the legislature are functioning independently and very well. Are you saying the judiciary in River State does not have what it takes, the credibility to handle that matter? Because the matter is already in court. But it is moved to Abuja so that you can bring to bear your puissance. And that's why most of us are calling on Mr. President to caution the IG. He mustn't be political. We've not heard about those policemen that were with the IG when he was killed. What has happened to them? We've not heard about them. But you are hounding the chief of staff because of his political fidelity. Then you talk of the House of Assembly. You see, we are going to have a very serious constitutional crisis. We must not allow sentiments becloud our reasoning. The reasons are used for the defection. They'll say, 8-point agenda. Must political settlement outdistance legal requirements and conditions? If that's the case, we don't need Supreme Court judgments anymore. We just need to go to the president and let him give a verdict on any issue. So if he says you're guilty, you're guilty. If he says you're innocent, you're innocent. We don't need the courts anymore. We are talking of legal matters where it is spelled out and you have plethora of cases on defection. Two major conditions, unless parties melt or you have crisis. The first time they talked of crisis, I know where I'm driving at. Please, just a few minutes. The first time they talked of crisis, where the state secretary, the party secretary, who had gubernatorial ambition, refused to resign his seat. That is not tantamount or was not tantamount to crisis. And one person dragged him to court. The second one was the president was doing well. I'm saying what was said on air. It's not a conjecture. It's not a deduction. It was said on air. This is not known in law and is alien to the judgment, the contents of the judgment, the Supreme Court. They gave reasons. Crisis or the parties melding, coming together. So as we speak, that's why I said we're going to have serious crisis as we speak. Those persons are not even members of the House of Assembly, irrespective of the agreement entered into, because that cannot supersede the provisions of the law. So they are not. So which means we don't have a speaker. We have only 4 members. Now, it was on that premise and acting in reliance upon a court judgment by TINUBU that the budget was presented. That budget was passed. You said represent. Now, why do you want to represent that budget? The question will arise after your representation. On what authority did you spend the monies you had spent? Laying the grounds for impeachment and removal. Because you need the imprimatur of the House of Assembly. And now you have also admitted by representing that budget. That's why I say we mustn't be sentimental. You have also admitted that Martins Emeule was the rightful one, irrespective of the court judgment. And that's why you represented that budget to him. Then, all this while you've been spending the money, on whose authority have you been spending that money? In that case, it's an impeachable offense. You can't even defend it. That's why I say the governor, if he represents that budget, will be signing his exit card himself. No sentiments about it. Because they are coming for the jugular. They are not preparing grounds. Now, how many times have the State Assembly, how many times have they turned down, they keep overriding the veto of the governor? And you say there is peace? And if you look at the laws they came up with, the caretaker committee and all this, these are things that, in as much as the caretaker committee is, so to speak, not legal. But even the Wike himself started with caretaker committees. They were elected local government chairmen that he removed through the instrumentality of the courts and appointed caretaker committee chairman. Right. Now, it is not even time for election. Okay. You're shouting that you don't want caretaker because they want to entrench. They are scared that the governor might want to influence the election of the caretaker of local government chairman. And if he cannot, then come up with caretaker committees so that he will still be in control. That fear is responsible for all these laws. All right, Mr. Nkotaria, yes,
thank you so much. Now, you've just highlighted a few things to demonstrate the fact that no love lost between the governor and the House of Assembly, no peace yet, despite the peace deal brokered and by the president of the Federation, and despite all the thanks given to him by the governor during his Supreme Court ruling and the FCT minister coming out to thank the president for bringing some form of peace, all surface level, not working. What's the way forward? Because currently, the governor has to battle a House of Assembly which is obviously against him, like you highlighted. The bills that they've transmitted to him for assenting has been vetoed when he didn't assent to them and have been passed, citing the fact that if 2/3 of the House votes, then they don't need the assent of the governor. So obviously working, against, as it were, as it seems, the governor. What's the way forward? Because Governor Fubara cannot continue to work under these conditions at loggerheads with the State House of Assembly, where in effect is not able to effect any laws being passed or sign anything he doesn't sign. They go ahead and override his veto power. What are the options left for him?
I think the tranquilizing drug of calmness that the governor has taken is yet to expire. And that's why a lot of us, Rivers persons, are saying, look, first and foremost, we have to be on the side of the law. That's number one. Sadly, I must say, sadly, that the governor himself is not even ready to assert his right. And we don't even know why. And a lot of us are miffed, we are peeved. Because we are not, it's not all about Fubara himself. It's all about the office. He just symbolizes the struggle. It's all about the office of the governor. It could have been any other person. It's immaterial. So when you see a Rivers will come out en masse, troop out to support the governor, it's not because it's Fubara. It's a referendum against dictatorship. One way, even the state elders, like the Rufus Ada George and Co., Andrew Chendru, they cut across party lines. Some are even apolitical. Even when they invite the governor, he turns down the invitation. He doesn't attend. He doesn't honor. So you don't even know his thinking, his mindset. And so Rivers have decided to say, no, it is incumbent on us. We are not just looking at Governor Sim Fubara. We are talking of our state. So because even Sim Fubara cannot get up this morning to say he's going to sell government house, we are going to protest. We'll not let him do that.
Okay, real quickly.
What we want is just for the rule of law. And if we accept that, the rule of law, let me tell you that 70% of the problems would have been solved.
Okay, real quickly.
70%.
Mr. Punabo Nkotari, good to see you again. I just want to prepare your mind. I'm going to ask a lot of very provocative questions this morning. Please don't get offended, because I will offend you. So let me advise.
I'm not at all. Not at
real
all.
Quickly.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
I have stated before on this show that you have a good boy as a governor. And in Yoruba parlance, when we say the boy is good, we have another saying to it. Apalunjebe. That's why when we say it's a derogatory saying. So you have a good boy as a governor. And another question I would like to ask you is, why are you drinking painkiller for somebody that said he has no pain? Why are you being a busybody? Because what I see you as is, you are a meddlesome interloper, with due respect. And that's why I say I'll be very provocative. Because the governor, in all of this, has said, me and my papa, we are one. I will make peace with my papa. So what soul are you fighting for? When this man won the governorship of Rivers State,
It's okay. Should I respond? Should I respond?
Go ahead.
Should I respond?
Go ahead.
Okay, very good, very good. First and foremost, Rufai, first and foremost, I will not sit back and watch you murder your son because he's your son, and because your son says he's my father. Therefore, you're going to bring out your gun and shoot that son to death. No, I won't let you do that. That's number one. Number two, if it's between father and son, they should go to the bedroom and fight and not use the state as a ring. Fight in your bed. We are not interested in whether you slap former Governor Wike or Wike slaps you. That's your business. What we are concerned about, like representation. We are not saying why do you have to go and represent former Governor Wike's house budget. That's what we're talking about. We are not also telling former Governor Wike your structure. How you appoint people in your bedroom is your business. It's your house. This has to do with the states, and we're all stakeholders.
But sir, with due respect,
no, yes,
it's no longer in your hands. You know why I said so? It's no longer in your hands because.
I come to say. One minute, I come to say.
Yes, sir. It's no longer in your hands because when these two people made their plans on how to win election, you don't know the agreement between them both. When the governor went to hang on a minute.
Rufai, 1 minute. Rufai, just a second. Because I want to respond quickly to that now. Rufai, are you telling me now that if you go into an agreement with somebody in the studio, when I say somebody, I'm not talking of the chairman, I'm not talking of the owner. Somebody in the studio to dispose of one camera or the other, and somehow there's a rift. You say, because you are not there when we went into the agreement, you cannot. Any other person, if you went into such an agreement, hypothetically, with Rufai, with Ruben, Doc, Ayo could raise objections. Because the camera does not belong to you, it also does not belong to Ruben. So, she has a right to raise objections.
So the last assertion I'm going to bring now.
The camera belongs to Arise.
The last assertion I'm going to bring is.
Yes.
Governor Fubara is like a man in love. When a man is in love, whatever you say to him does not matter.
That is not true. You can love with sense. That is not true.
Until it clear for an eye. He's like a man in love.
Do you know? Do you know if Rufai is talking out of experience? Do you know if Rufai is talking out of experience?
Which experience?
You know
when they say a man is in love, a new mumu has been made.
His pocket must have been touched by love. His pocket must have been touched by love, and he's talking out of experience. Anyway, on a serious note, I believe Rufai is just being sarcastic. On a serious note, because the truth is, we are not bothered about what goes on between father and son. They so-called themselves, describe themselves. There's no problem. But it's affecting governance. That's what we should understand. It's affecting governance. And it's also affecting us. Nothing is happening in Rivers State in terms of human capital development, in terms of development, so to infrastructure, so to speak, not even at the pace. So we are worried because the Wike was governor for 8 years, he's gone. Fubara will be governor, God blesses him, for another 8 years, he will be gone. What will happen to the state? If the likes of JSP and Co. had told this line, we wouldn't have had Rivers State of today. So that is the problem.
Kotaria, we need to wrap this up.
Because we are not we never woke up one morning to tell Fubara, why is your wife not eating? Why is your son not laughing? We never did that. Yes, I can hear you.
We need to wrap this up, but you need to clarify something before we go. We understand your position with regard to Nyesom Wike and his role in the politics in Rivers, but some of you have also been quoted as saying the police, we seem to be getting involved in the matter. The job of the police is to maintain law and order. If people are throwing chairs and throwing canopies and behaving riotously, the police is not going to fold its arms. So why is it that some people on the streets of Port Harcourt are saying the Inspector General of Police is supporting this person, that person? The Inspector General of Police has a duty to ensure that you people don't break down law and order in that state and allow peace to reign.
Briefly, I will address that. You know too well, Doc, that in administration of justice you don't cherry pick. That is number one. Now I ask a simple question. The matter is already before a high court in Rivers State. Why? What is that vested interest in moving that matter to Abuja? Then in that same matter, you don't have any evidence yet, but you're hounding the chief of staff because of his fidelity to the governor. In that same matter, we are yet to hear about the prosecution of the police officers that abandoned their DPO and ran away. Now, you also look at antecedents, where during the elections, filling stations were closed and persons were hounded for daring to pick the form or daring to declare their intentions.
Clarification, not reopening the argument.
No. What clarification did I get? I didn't get it right.
I asked for clarification. Why is it that some stakeholders are blaming the police instead of focusing on the main issues?
Yes, that's what I said, because they believe that the police is taking sides. That is just the belief.
Okay.
That's why I was trying to lay this background.
On that note,
they believe that the police is taking sides.
Okay, on that note, in Kotaria, I would like to thank you very much for joining us on The Morning Show. And we pray